Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm otherwise known as that which is standing between you and dessert. If I could have your attention, please, for the only speaking portion of our program, which we've done for several years, because you've told us you've enjoyed it so much. First of all, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of Esther and the trustees of the university, how much it means to us that you join us today and throughout the year in sustaining something that might even be true like David Brooks says it is. And we thank you very much. Over 2,000 years ago, the Syrian Greeks sought to suppress our way of life as informed by our ancient tradition. At our darkest hour, a small family of noble and courageous Jews fought to preserve the sanctity of their faith and practice. The kindling of the menorah in the rededicated temple, where the flames miraculously burned for 8 nights, symbolized the inextinguishable dedication and passion which has served as the backbone of the Jewish story. The holiday of Hanukkah commemorates this unwavering commitment to our story. Today, it remains our sacred mission to ensure purposeful survival and provide enthusiasm for a life of meaning to a society still searching for light. Yeshiva University illumines. There are many lights that shine brightly here at Yeshiva: students, faculty, rabbinic leaders, scientists, alumni, and lay leadership. At this annual gathering, we've made it a tradition to identify 8 points of light who are not the best we have, but are exemplars of the array of inspired excellence that marks this university like no other. As I present each of the 8 points of light, I will ask the recipients to kindle a symbolic candle on the beautiful menorah situated here on stage. So I begin by introducing our first point of light and asking Nicole Schreiber-Agus to join me at the podium. Nicole. Nicole Schreiber-Agus received her undergraduate degree in art history in 1989 from Princeton, where she also concentrated in pre-med studies. She earned her PhD in microbiology and immunology from the Sue Golding Research Division of the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in 1994. Then she did postdoctoral work at Einstein before becoming an assistant professor of molecular genetics. So far I got it? Okay. In 1998, she was the principal investigator of a biomedical research laboratory there for 8 years. Beginning in September 2006, Nicole served as research consultant to the Human Genetics Laboratory at Jacobi Medical Center, and in 2011 was reappointed as an assistant professor of genetics at Einstein. Now, in ways wondrous, she serves as program director for the Program of Jewish Genetic Health, something that she was instrumental with others in starting, a joint initiative between Yeshiva University and the Albert Einstein College of Medicine that was established to ensure that nobody in the Jewish community facing a genetic health issue should be deprived of proper care. The program educates the public through multiple platforms, including genesites.com, a free online educational series that consists of lessons about genetic diseases that are commonly found amongst the Jewish population. Through this remarkable initiative, all members of the Jewish community can more easily navigate through a difficult and a very sensitive process. As we do here, I hope you know, I then don't warn our friends, but just warn them that I will ask them just 1 or 2 questions. But it's my great pleasure to present to you our first point of light, Nicole Schreiber-Agus. Here's your turn. So how did you get involved in all the things you could be doing in Jewish genetic health?
So I was trained as a scientist, and I think that my journey took me to be able to be giving back to the Jewish community. And it was a very complicated journey, as you all heard, and I've been at Einstein for 25 years, but this is the most gratifying job where you can actually apply what you've learned over the years in your schools and then give back to the Jewish community in ways that I never thought would be possible.
So why Einstein? What's special about Einstein?
I feel like the atmosphere at Einstein has always been very collegial. That's why I chose Einstein for graduate school. And the people who are my professors, some of who are in the audience today, are now considered my colleagues and also my friends. But I'm always meeting new people at Einstein, new faculty members, and everyone's willing to help and lend a hand and help us with new grants. And we function as a great team. One of the members of my team is here today, Dr. Susan Klugman, who's the medical director of our program. And everyone works together, the small team up to the bigger institution.
My last question is I mentioned genesites.com. What are some of the other resources that this audience should know about?
So a major part of the program for Jewish genetic health is genetic testing, and we provide genetic testing to members of the community in a very accessible and affordable way. We've just ran a screen on the YUN Stern campus, and we screened 141 students in one afternoon. So this is a screening that would occur before having a pregnancy, where you want to make sure that you're not carriers for the same genetic disease. It was a very successful day, and we work with the Medical Ethics Society to make that happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Schreiber-Agus, our first
you.
point of light. One on the light, on the left there. Second point of light, Mr. Mark Weingarten. Come on, come on. Mark Weingarten, if I'm saying anything that's not true, you pretend it's true. Do you understand? Okay. Mark Weingarten is a pre-med student at Yeshiva College. While an excellent student of the sciences, Mark's scientific prowess is matched by his thirst for excellence across all academic platforms, clearly evidenced by his first prize-winning essay in Emuna's Yossi Berger Holocaust Essay Contest. His ability to fuse the humanities and the sciences facilitated his acceptance into the Mount Sinai Medical School Humanities and Medicine program, where undergraduates who excel in both science and humanities are admitted to medical school in their sophomore year of college. And under some circumstances, someone would be willing to take acceptance to a lesser medical school like Mount Sinai so that he could get in his sophomore year. But what truly separates Mark is his unquenchable desire to help others through his profound love of music. Mark started playing the violin at age 3, and his passion for music propelled him to create one of the Yeshiva College Student Association's most successful clubs called Music Verse, a program that schedules organized visits for college students to perform music for the elderly, veterans, and children who are ill. The program, yeah, that's pretty nice, huh? Try finding that at Queens. The program aims to use the universal language of music as a bridge to form connections with those less fortunate and to lay the foundation for lasting relationships. Currently, listen to this, there are over 200 students on both the Wilf and the Barron campuses participating in this program. But Mark refused to limit this program to our university. Through his tireless efforts, Music Verse has expanded to include programs throughout the country, including clubs at Cornell, Yale, NYU, San Diego State, as well as various high schools across the state. Ladies and gentlemen, our second point of light, Mark Weingarten. All right, Mark, now comes the grilling. Where else did you apply to college? Where did you get accepted, and why did you choose YU? Honest. This one has to be honest. Oh, and don't be modest. Come on. My job rests on this, Mark.
I was blessed to be accepted to Harvard College in 2009 from DRS Yeshiva High School in Queens. I spent a gap year in Yeshiva Yavneh in Eretz Yisrael in Israel, studying the interrelationship between Talmud, how Talmud relates to our everyday lives, and how it could come alive in terms of engaging the halachic process, in terms of contributing to the Jewish community. And I actually applied for a second year of deferral from Harvard to stay a second year at Yavneh, because I felt that that would be quintessential to building my foundation, building my perspective. They did not give me a second year, and everyone makes sacrifices in their lives, and I think that it's very important to make Torah a priority, make our religious observance a priority, investigating our roots a priority. So I chose to go to Yeshiva College. Actually offered me a second year, thanks to Moshe Kranzler, who's director of admissions, and they gave me the opportunity to spend that second year and come to YU. And I'm blessed to say that at Yeshiva College, I've been given opportunities that really are unparalleled, both in terms of my Torah learning with Rav Herschel Schechter, who's really a true Gadol Hador, and with Rav Penner, the acting dean of REITs, who's nurturing and who's caring is really unparalleled, as well as in my secular studies, in my Limudei Chol, with, I'm blessed to be working in the lab of Dr. Yaakov Petter for over 3 years now. In terms of research experience, in terms of developing a research perspective, I really think he's endowed me with a way to think scientifically. He's also, along with Dr. Norman Adler, whose advice has really been amazing in terms of mentorship, and the professors at Yeshiva and the Rebbeim, they really go out of their way to extend their relationship with you beyond the classroom. I'm really blessed to say that I have really close relationships with almost all of my professors. And they really provided for me opportunities like to go to Brigham Women's Hospital this summer to do research there. I never really had to apply for the job or do anything, and they sent me to Boston for the summer.
Last question, quick answer. What has music verse taught you about a person's ability to make a difference?
So the goal of music verse really is that society at times can be very narcissistic, and at a time when so much emphasis is placed on me, so we're trying to say that it's about you, and we're trying to bridge that gap and use music to create relationships, to use anything that we could do to make visiting sick people less awkward. To answer your question,
would you like to introduce the rest of the points of light? Would you like to take my job?
Not yet.
I always wanted to be a doctor. We're done, Mark. That's it. The point of light, Mark Weingarten. No, that's it. Mark, light a candle. Our third point of light, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call upon Rebecca Yoshar. You should all be very proud that many people are here from Houston, Texas. Rebecca Yoshar is currently a student at Stern College for Women, majoring in English literature with a minor in psychology. A native of Houston, Texas, Rebecca plays forward for the Lady Maccabees, Stern College's NCAA basketball team. I also want to acknowledge that one of the great aspects of the success, aside from Rebecca, has been that it's been coached by Miss Nesta Felix, who is with us here tonight. Where are you, Nesta? Okay, I'm going to pretend that I've seen you. Rebecca's accomplishments on the court earned her selection to the All-Met Division III Women's College Basketball second term. This past February, she was named a Capital One NCAA Division III Academic All-America, awarded to student athletes with an outstanding combination of scholastic and athletic achievements. She is the first Stern student athlete in Yeshiva University history. She is the first Stern student athlete in Yeshiva University history to receive the Academic All-America honor. Rebecca, by the way, I only have last year, has a 3.97 grade point average, and last year, more important to her father, averaged 16.6 points and 14.8 rebounds per game on the court. Those stellar statistics have only improved this season. Off the court, Rebecca is a board member of the Social Justice Society and is an editor of the Stern College newspaper, The Observer. Rebecca was also named one of this year's Jewish Week's 36 under 36. Our third point of light, ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca Yoshar. Your turn. So Rebecca, we all know how rigorous the environment at Stern College and at Yeshiva University is. How do you balance and juggle schoolwork, the basketball team, and your commitments to the various clubs and organizations on campus?
So I think that any student at Stern or YU could relate to my answer, which is if you budget your time appropriately, I think you find that you can do anything, almost anything, and it's just about deciding you have to plan exactly what you want to do every day and make sure that you get it done, and that's it.
What's your favorite course?
Right now?
Okay.
My favorite course I've ever taken was probably Literature of Home with Professor Peters. I really liked that.
Why?
Well, Professor Peters is an amazing teacher, and I just really enjoyed the opportunity to learn with her. She's great, so she really just made everything that we read so enjoyable, and I learned so much. It was great.
Now, I also know that you've interned at NBC in Houston and Susan Blond here in New York. Is there a future in communications for you?
So I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so, and I'm lucky that when I decide if that's the course I want to take, I have a solid education behind me to pursue that.
And what generation Yeshiva University student are you?
Third.
That's wonderful. I'm not going to say anything more. Ladies and gentlemen, our point of light, Rebecca Yosha. Rebecca. I'd now like to call upon Shmuel Legass. Is that right? Yes, sir. I got it right. Very nice. It's spelled L-E-G-E-S-S-E, so you understand why I'm a university president. Shmuel Legass. Shmuel Legass is a doctoral candidate at the Azrieli Graduate School for Jewish Education and Administration. Born in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Legass yearned to live in Israel. He made Aliyah and obtained an academic scholarship to Hebrew University's Rothberg International School, and later served in the Israeli police force. While in Israel, Legass also served as a member of the coalition of Hasbara volunteers and helped fundraise for an Ethiopian Knesset members campaign. Though he was proud of his identity as an Ethiopian Israeli Jew, he quickly realized that many Ethiopians did not share that pride. Legass feels that the deep confusion and sense of alienation that many Ethiopian Jewish children in Israel experience is caused by the cognitive dissonance between their religious upbringing in Ethiopian Jewish culture, the Judaism they are taught in schools, and the larger secular world around them. Legass began his journey to help these kids by starting a 6-week summer camp called Efshari, It Is Possible, that provides leadership training to more than 100 disadvantaged teens of all backgrounds each summer, mostly aimed at Ethiopian teams. In order to fully implement his visions, he knew that he needed to learn educational methodology and practice, which is why he chose to study at Azrieli. After completing his doctorate, he hopes to return to Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth point of light, Shmuel Legass. It's yours now. Did I say anything right there, Shmuel?
Everything's right.
So why did you come here? There are lots of places to get graduate degrees in education.
Torah said, Tezeh Yerushalayim, Tezeh Torah. From Yerushalayim, you say Torah. And for me, being Israeli and also as a black Ethiopian Jew, just from Israel, for me, here in America, I see Yeshiva University part of a source of Torah, source of light. And I don't see myself only just be for Ethiopian. I would like to see the world. We Jewish are existed with different color and size and origins. And due to that fact, from Yeshiva University, I would like to get this education that I can be light to my people in Israel, as well as for international society, as a Jewish and as Ethiopian and as Israeli.
Shmuel, you currently work as a counselor and a prison guard for a New York State juvenile prison called Brookwood Secure Center. Please share with us your experience there.
Like most of my partner in the classroom, I don't teach or I don't work in a Jewish day school or a Jewish atmosphere. I work in a criminal, juveniles, detention center or prison. And it's hard to work there. It's just very hard. In every manner you see it, whatever you scare in the city, I'm in it with every side, to the right, to the left, to all direction. And my
motivation?
Yeah. What's the question?
The question is, what did you get out of it? Why are you doing this work in the prison?
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, the reason why I'm working on there is most of the kids Be'ezrat Hashem, which I would reach back to Israel, not maybe exactly, but similar, because most of them, my Ethiopian Jewish Israeli teenagers, which I would like to reach, they come to Israel and they go to much Orthodox school, more than modern Orthodox school you know here, that's where they go. And then, but in outside society, they see another part of the world. Finally, they end up being, you know what, I don't want anything, and they become very, negative part of the society. For me, working in that prison gives me a challenge and experience how to reach and communicate the same people and use which I would like to reach Be'ezrat Hashem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth point of light, Shmuel Agus.
Thank you. That was wonderful. It's now my pleasure to call upon Savyon Lang.
Savyon Lang is a graduate of the Wurzweiler School of Social Work. Let's hear it for Wurzweiler. Savyon and her sister are hard of hearing. She believes that throughout her life, people have been fighting to ensure that her needs and those of her sister have been met with comfort and compassion. Speech therapists, speech pathologists, audiologists, and special education teachers have all played prominent roles in helping her feel comfortable. Her hearing brother even learned cued speech, a phonemically based hand supplement to language to better communicate with her. She chose to attend Wurzweiler because it offered an in-depth understanding of what social work is and how to effectively apply social work practices and field placements. At Wurzweiler, Savyon was an excellent student who was adored by her peers. As described by Dean Carmen Ortiz-Hendricks, Savyon taught her fellow students that having a handicap doesn't have to inhibit one's dreams or one's goals. She is truly one of a kind. She currently works as an intern at New York Presbyterian Hospital in their Deaf and Hard of Hearing program in White Plains. She wants to improve her sign language and earn her licensed clinical social worker certificate so she can open up her own practice to provide services to the deaf and hard of hearing populations and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, Savyon Lang. For you. Savyon, how did you decide to go into social work?
Well, I went to social work because, first of all, my mother is just a psychologist. And before that, I do know that I'm hard of hearing. My sister and I were born deaf, and we were just very blessed, and we appreciated that we got provided our needs for education, for our hearing, such as speech therapists, speech pathologists, and there were other professionals that helped us. So when I grew up, saw these people helping my parents, my brother, my sister, and I felt that I I wanted to go to social work and help others. For example, mostly deaf and hard of hearing, because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there are barely deaf and hard of hearing professionals for that population. So I hope to be one of that professionals to work with that population.
So tell me, Savyon,
Thank you.
You know, this is my time, all that applause. What courses or professors at Wurzweiler have made an impact on you?
Well, I can't pick one course because all of them were really impacting to me. I enjoyed Yeshiva so much, and the professors, and even my dean, Dr. Carmen Hendricks, who's at the table right now, they were all supportive, and my peers also were supportive, and they taught me their own perspectives of how they worked in their social work or practice social work. And what was the question again?
You answered it. Ladies and gentlemen, Savyon Lang, a point of light.
Thank you. Light a candle, please.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to call upon my friend, Dr. Ariel Fishman. Now, I have to confess to some bias here, because in my last career, my last happy career, I was the president of the Hillel Foundation, and an elder of mine who knew everything, taught me the ropes, but even was willing to admit that maybe I had some new ideas that would be worthwhile, was Ariel's father and mother, who I revere, Rabbi Sam and Tamar Fishman. So I'm a little bit prejudiced. It had nothing to do with our hiring Ariel, who serves as the Director of Institutional Research at Yeshiva University and an Assistant Professor of Management at the Sim School of Business. A native of Washington, D.C., currently living on Manhattan's Upper West Side, he received his bachelor's degree from Penn, his master's and PhD from Columbia. In 2012, while taking his children to drop them at preschool, Ariel was involved in a horrific automobile accident. Mastering a courageous recuperation with the help of his wife and family, Ariel endured many surgeries, including the amputation of his lower legs. Throughout his treatment, he taught us stuff every day. But throughout his treatment, Ariel needed 70 life-saving units of blood to save him. Grateful for the blood donations he received, he became an active volunteer spokesperson for the New York Blood Center to encourage more people to donate blood. He's given numerous motivational speeches describing his experiences and subsequent recovery. In Ariel's words, you can't control what happens to you in life, but you can control how you respond. Ariel has been honored by both the New York Blood Center and by the New York Jewish Week, which named him one of the Jewish community's 36 under 36 leaders in 2013. Now it's our turn. Dr. Ariel Fishman, our point of light. So I gave you my perspective. From your perspective, why do you work at YU?
When I finished graduate school, I had the opportunity to look at every university in the country. I studied organizations, and I find how organizations work to be very fascinating, but ultimately organizations are all very similar to each other. Now when I go to conferences and I tell people I work at YU, everybody talks about their university and how it's special and different and unique, and I tell them, no, no, no. Where I work is really special and unique and different. And I talk about all the things that make YU different from any other school, and everyone else, their jaws drop, because there's nothing like any other university that's anything remotely like what we have here. And I love being a part of it.
So last question I'll ask you is, how has your personal life, your whole personal life, how has it affected your work and your teaching?
You know, the experiences that I've gone through in the past year and a half since my accident have been a tremendous blessing for me. They've given me the perspective to see, first of all, what matters in life. I give my kids a little bit more of a hug every day. I take a little bit more time with my family when I can. And I realize how much I enjoy being with my students and my teaching. In just about 12 or 13 hours, I'll be back down here in Midtown to teach my class tomorrow morning. And it's just one of the best feelings in the world, walking into class and having my students interested in the subject material and being a part of, of my day and of my life. And, connecting it all together has really been an important part of what I do.
Our sixth point of light, Dr. Ariel Fishman. Light a candle. Go light a candle. My pleasure to call upon Brittany Brown. So nice to meet you. I think we've met once before. Let's see if any of this is right, okay? So we're going to try this. Brittany Brown is a proud alumna of the Benjamin N. Cardozo School of Law. I'll applaud too. I was a professor and associate dean for 8 years, so it's where she graduated cum laude this past May. She's been described as an excellent student who took full advantage of Cardozo. That wasn't you who described that. Someone else said that about you. Demonstrated by her involvement as a public service scholar, editor on the Cardozo Journal of Law and Gender, and a Charles H. Revson Law Student Public Interest Fellowship recipient. Born and raised in Bloomington, Indiana, also the location of a lesser school. Brittany holds a bachelor's in fine arts in musical theater from the University of Michigan. While at Cardozo, she was also active in the Catherine Greenberg Immigration Justice Clinic and even represented a client facing deportation. Did you win?
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing, okay. Her experiences at the clinic enabled her to contribute to the publication of an online practice advisory for the American Immigration Council. Brittany also co-founded a new student club, FIRE, for Immigrant Rights and Equality, with the goal of educating the Cardozo community about immigration law through panels, trainings, and networking events. Brittany was trained as a mediator through Cardozo's mediation clinic and regularly handles disputes in Brooklyn small claims and civil courts. Now she is proud to join Brooklyn Defender Services as a Cardozo Immigration Justice Fellow and as a member of the newly formed New York Immigration Defenders team. Brittany represents the poster child for people who want their lives to matter and saw Cardozo as a venue to gather the knowledge, training, skills, and I hope passion to make a difference in the world. Our seventh point of light, Brittany Brown. So what's special about Cardozo, Brittany?
For me, what is special about Cardozo is the strong, very strong public interest community. That was my primary goal in going to law school, was to learn how to be a public interest lawyer. And in Cardozo, I found an incredibly supportive and inspiring community.
I know that a member of our Yeshiva College board is the famed immigration lawyer, Leon Wilds, who gave the lone course in immigration law that we offered for many years until we started a clinic and a whole proliferation. So New York City is the first jurisdiction in the nation to have a public defender system for detained immigrants. That was a concept developed by Cardozo's immigration clinic. You want to expand on that a little?
Sure. As probably most people know, in the United States, if you are charged with a crime and can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you at the government's expense. There is no such provision for people in immigration proceedings. And although immigration is a civil area of law, we are locking people up in detention centers for immigration violations, which to me is an extreme violation of human and civil rights. And so this project aims to give representation to people who are in detention.
So here's a question that's not on my list, but Yeshiva University is a Jewishly informed and Jewishly inspired university. Did it give you pause in coming to Cardozo, and how's it played out?
The fact that it's a Jewish university? No pause at all. I am not Jewish myself, but I've always had friends who are Jewish, and so I felt very comfortable being in that environment.
You don't know us well enough. And has the values of Cardozo been something that's been strong for you?
Absolutely. This is, I was inspired every day by my classmates and my professors. It was an environment where everyone was very passionate about what they were doing and caring about the work.
You're very wonderful. Brittany Brown, our seventh point of light. Will you light a Hanukkah candle for us, please? Acharon Chaviv, our junior point of light. It's my pleasure to call upon Adam Moisa. Oh, we're just taking brazen advantage of Adam here. Good evening, Reb Adam. How are you?
I got smicha already? I got smicha already.
I said Reb Adam, not Rav Adam, and you've just seen an example of the chutzpah of the yeshiva student. Adam Moisa is our junior point of light, only a freshman. Only a freshman. Adam is studying in the Saisim School of Business in the New Business Honors and Entrepreneurial Leadership Program. Prior to enrolling in yeshiva, Adam participated in 3 internships in finance and risk management. Although Adam was accepted to both Princeton University and the University of Chicago, he attributes his decision to attend Yeshiva University to the mistake he made by having a relationship with Dean Michael Strauss of Sims, who actively reached out to help mentor him. Well, you'll make me better in a minute. Adam feels that the interpersonal relationships and one-on-one interaction with Yeshiva's faculty foster an unmatched sense of community. Adam's a freshman. Did I mention that to you? He's passionate about his startup, Cloudified. Cloudified, are you ready for this? An aggregate cloud startup. Cloudified takes all the available cloud storage services and aggregates them into one easy-to-access spot while also renovating the way information is viewed and displayed. Blah, 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 blah. At least 70% of you aren't honest enough to say that you didn't understand a word of that either. Adam has also founded and is currently working on a few other projects: Tickfinity, Syncal, YU Carpools, To Be Public LLC. He also runs the Suits Optional Modern Entrepreneurial Club at Sims. He's also certified in Adobe Advanced Photoshop, certified Adobe Advanced Illustrator, certified HTML5 and CSS3, and JavaScript Coda. Perhaps his greatest achievement, certainly his greatest achievement. He is recently engaged to Penina Rosen, a senior majoring in finance at the SciSim School of Business, and she joins us here tonight. Our eighth and final point of light, Adam Moisa. You've been asked this 95 times. Why did you choose Sims?
I chose Sims, as the president so eloquently said, because I made the mistake of having a relationship with Dean Michael Strauss. Dean Michael Strauss reached out to me while I was merely a prospective student in Israel. And remember, he's a dean. He's very, very busy. Yet he took the time to reach out to me and speak to me on the phone for over 2.5 hours just the first day. The second day, I think it was even longer. And the day after that, let's just stop there. But he continually reaches out to me, has an open door policy, and it's not just him, it's all the deans. And that's why I'm here at Sims.
And did that continue once we got you?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us how. Tell us how.
The open
how
door
does
policy?
It continue?
It continues because Dean Strauss is someone who wants to teach based on experience and not just based on a textbook. At YU, I'm not a number, I'm not one of 500 in a class. I'm Adam Moisa. Everyone knows my name, and everyone knows all the other students' names as well. Dean Strauss's open door policy is not just that the door is open, but he actively walks out and reaches out to us and asks us to come in. If you have an idea, you can walk in, talk to him about it. When I did, I had a lawyer, a patent lawyer, an attorney, accountant, everything set up for me. Software developers ready to go, 5 to 10 minutes.
And when do you think you're going to be able to make your first $5 million gift to Yeshiva?
Hopefully soon.
How'd you meet Penina?
I met Penina in a course that YU...
at a course at YU?
At a course that YU...
Your $10 million gift.
At a course that YU offered in the summer after their spring semester. It's called the AMT course. It teaches students practical knowledge in terms of how to act in an internship, not just how to act, but how to manage finances and the types of questions that you'd be asked and what you'd be expected to do in an internship.
What's next for you, Adam?
Well, I'm going to continue to study here. I'm getting married in 5 weeks. And I'm going to continue to work on my startups while being a student at Sims.
Ladies and gentlemen, our eighth and final point of light, Adam Moisa. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in celebrating these wonderful members who represent the Yeshiva University community with dignity and with spread and with grace and with all the things that we should be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, our points of light.